Hello everyone, welcome to a Rosetta draft where I talk through all of my picks and plays. I think we wind up with a pretty sweet deck and there is quite a lot to learn and unpack in these games, so I hope that you enjoy it. If you want more content, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/onthebobble. The link will be in the description below. And check us out there. We have a draft tier list, some more draft content going live shortly, and a bunch of CC stuff as well for Florian and Aurora primarily at the moment. So feel free to check us out, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone, welcome to a Rosetta draft. I'm just queuing up on Runaway's server. I don't know these people, and we're gonna see what we can draft. All right, so jumping into things here, Lightning is pretty weak, so I don't think that's gonna be on the table. We're really kind of looking at Earth cards. I think red Fruits of the Forest is really, really good, but I also think the Helmet is good. So it's really kind of between these two cards. Red Fertile Ground is also reasonable, but I think Fruits is just so much more flexible of a card. So for me, it is kind of entirely between these two cards. I don't think that there's too much else that is reasonable. I suppose I could take one of these Wizards cards to pop the bubble or Photon Splicing, but I think they're a decent amount worse than either Fruits or Helm of Lignum Vitae. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to take the Helmet, keeping in mind I am sending a lot of Earth to the left. Thinking about what we might wheel, I'm going to keep count here. There's 5 Wizard, 2 Runeblade, 3 Earth, 2 Lightning. So see if we can remember that when we get to the wheel. All right, Helm of Lignum Vitae in our pool. The cards that are standing out to me here is yellow Autumn's Touch, which goes quite nicely with our Helm of Lignum Vitae. Again, Lightning is not taken, but it is weak. And the other card that really stands out to me is this Exploding Aether if we want to wind up in the Wizard deck. So for me, either Autumn's Touch or Exploding Aether. Twinkle Toe's not really a consideration. I'm not so worried about it not going with our pick, but I just don't think it's all that powerful. I've been really impressed with the Wizard deck, so I might try drafting that just to mix it up. I do think that the yellow Autumn's Touch is also very disciplined. Shoot, this is a little bit tough. I think if this was blue or red, I would take it, but because it's not, I'm going to take the Exploding Aether. I think it is a little bit stronger. Earth's still pretty well represented. We can take a Well-Grounded. We could also go into Lightning for this Fry, but let's see, 4 class cards, generic, a Lightning and 2 Earth. So there very well could be a Lightning card missing. And we're kind of getting pulled in a lot of different directions here, so I might just actually solidify our position in Earth a little bit with these boots. And yes, a nice Autumn's Touch for us. Pretty happy to pick that up. Looking here, it looks like Wizard is definitely cut. We noticed that a class common's likely missing last pack, and certainly here as well. There cannot be only 4 class commons. Something is taken, and it must be at least 1 Wizard common here. The red Autumn's Touch here and the Well-Grounded seem like pretty big signals. And well, Lightning does have some very strong cards in Burn-Up Shock and Second Strike. I think we just want to get deeper into Earth. This Exploding Aether is currently not looking super likely for us. So in Earth, there's Blue Strong Yield. Not super excited about that. Wizard's still looking very cut. We could just pick up equipment in Bruised Leathers. I don't mind that, but I think that Deadwood Dirge is a fair bit more powerful, and it's feeling like Runeblade is open, so we might actually be in a nice spot for Florian here. So I'm going to speculate on this Deadwood Dirge. We're not committed to Florian, but we are certainly leaning that direction at the moment. Okay. Element cards completely cut. Yeah. So it's awkward because we know that Wizard's being cut, but Hold Focus is kind of a premium piece of equipment. We could also take something like a yellow Rune Rager Swarm, but I just think that's pretty replaceable, and I'm not very excited about it. So I'm actually going to take this Hold Focus and just kind of stay open between either Florian or Verdance and see what happens there. There is a blue block 3, but I think I just want to get deeper into Earth and not send any Earth signals. Since I don't have Decompose cards, I'm a little bit reluctant to get the red Strength of 4 Seasons. Yellow Fertile Ground is at least a pitchable card that can come back and helps your Wizard matchups, even if it is not, even if you don't have the full text online. So decently happy to pick that up, and we get a Decomposer, which is really nice. Not a lot of strong class cards, so we can just go deeper into Earth. That's pretty good. That's where most of our cards are leading us. There is a nice blue 3 block, but again, I think that just getting deeper into Earth is going to be beneficial for us, and we want to do that. So we actually have a lot of flexibility this draft with the 6 Earth picks and then only 1 Runeblade or 2 Wizard picks. We can pretty easily be either Verdance or Florian from here, and honestly, the main thing we want to pick up is a couple more Decomposers to make sure we can get value out of our Well-Groundeds, but Earth has felt decently open to us. Here, we could take the blue 3 block. I actually think I'm just going to take the Arcane Polarity to stay open. I think that you don't want too many of this card, but like 1 or 2 of these is pretty good. Again, helps with the Wizard decks, which do seem to be quite drafted, so I would like to get some life gain to have against those decks. And again, this actually just keeps us open. We can play this in either Florian or Verdance, and yeah, we might make a pick later. Oh, I also said that there was, let's see, I believe there was 4 Wizard, 2 Runeblade. I've forgotten. This was my first pack. Yeah, not so used to talking through all the picks and also trying to remember the cards. It's a lot to juggle. But I think that Runeblade and Earth is clearly cut, and then there's some Lightning and Wizard cards here. But honestly, mostly it's just like I think the strongest cards were taken is what it looks like. This blue block 3 is not especially indicative of what's going on in the pod. I have access to a blue Dirge, but honestly, Strength of 4 Seasons yellow is fine. I'm not in love with this card because you do need to get it online. We only have the 1 Decompose, and we already have a Fertile Ground, which kind of competes a little bit in that like you need to be online for it to be a good card, and you don't want to run too many of those or it gets very awkward. I think we'll just take the Runeblade block 3. I like Red Oath well enough, but I don't really like Yellow Oath. Blue Malefic Incantation, I actually like this a fair bit. It's a lot like the Sigil of Deadwood in a way. And Arcanic Spike rounding out the pack, hoping not to play that. So currently looking here, I think that we're probably trying to be Florian, but still definitely open to Verdance. The only thing we're committed on is Earth. So let's fill this out. I like Fruits of the Forest in both blue and yellow, to be honest. I think I like the blue and the red a little bit more than the yellow, so I'm going to go ahead and take that as just like a very, very premium blue, but honestly it's pretty close between these two. Notably Bruised Leather in the pack, which might come back around. There's a lot of good cards here. Helm of Lignum Vitae, but we already have it, and a Fruits of the Forest. We do want Decomposers. I found Blue Blossoming Decay to be a little bit on the junky side, so I'm not sure if I want that. Some very good Wizard cards going, and we could be Wizard, but I think that we're still leaning Florian, and honestly, we're actually still a little bit open. I just like getting further into Earth here. And holy, another Fruits of the Forest. Yep, I'm more than happy to take that. Here, there's a Rootbound Carapace at blue, which jumps out to me right away. Premium class commons and Aether Quickening and Rune Rager Swarm. Notably, a Runeblade card likely missing from the pack. I think it has to be missing from the pack with only 1 Runeblade common missing. So Runeblade going this direction might be a little bit contested. But honestly, yeah, I just want the Decomposer. Make sure that we can do our thing. Blue Rootbound's not like super premium, but it's decent. And I think we'll just take the Yellow Blossoming Decay. Because we have the Strength of 4 Seasons and Fertile Ground, we're really invested in getting online, and just having the Decomposers to make sure your deck works is pretty important, even if it's not the best. I also don't think we're giving up anything super premium here. The Arcane Polarity would be nice to have, but getting to that 3 or 4 Decompose count feels like one of the most important things you can do. From here, I think I just like the Sigil of Deadwood. I'm not huge on red Strength of 4 Seasons, and we already have 2 cards that care about us getting to 4. I think blue Harvest Season is pretty real in a Florian style deck, but honestly, I'm pretty big fan of the Sigil of Deadwood. It turns on Rotwood Reaper twice, and it works with our Deadwood Dirge, which is currently a little bit low on enablers. So I'm pretty happy to pick up this Deadwood Dirge. Notably, we have a lot of blue 2-blocks. So I could just take a blue 3-block in Arcanic Spike. I could take a yellow Fendels. We already kind of have a bunch of big dumb attacks. I could also just take a blue Fertile Ground to further weather the storm against those wizard decks. For me, yeah, it's between the blue 3-block and the blue Fertile. Or honestly, even the Strong Yield. Maybe we just take the yellow strong Yield. Graveyard Fill. I really do think that the Florian decks are naturally pretty good into a lot of the other like wizard decks and stuff like that. And really what you need to beat it is some Go Again, so that you can use big hands as well as life gain. So we have a fair bit of life gain with the Fertile Ground and 3 Fruits of the Forest. That's access to 10 life gain, 12 from the Blossoming Decays. So yeah, not bad. And this is sort of like a blue block 3. Don't think Arcanic Spike or Deadwood Dirge are where we want to be. Yellow Fruits comes back. That's fantastic. I'm kind of surprised that that comes back. Although honestly, maybe we just want Bruised Leather. We already know our deck is going to be pretty good. We only have 3 unplayables. Yeah, it's interesting. We've already seen a Bruised Leather. It's a matter of whether we think we can find a Bodice. I'm going to be a little greedy, take the Fruits. I don't know if that's right. That might. I could see that coming back to bite us. Guess Sigil of Findle as a sideboard card. Not super excited about this. Blue Arcane Polarity. This is now our second one. So that's fine. Probably not playing both of these except against Wizard, but it is what it is. We'll cut the Save the Thought because I don't care about the other 2 cards at all. I think Flittering's better than Second Strike and Sigil of Forethought, so a bunch of unplayables here. But that's okay. We are in a pretty good spot overall. So we have 2 Decomposers, 3 Decomposers at the end of pack 1. I wouldn't mind a red Decomposer. We have pretty good Graveyard Fill. We have pretty good life gain with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 with Findles, and 4 more from the 2 Arcane Polarities. So like 19 life gain against the Earth-heavy decks. And we also have Well Grounded. So we're getting pretty good on life gain to deal with those wizards. And I think the fact that a lot of our life gain is in Fruits of the Forest is very good because we can always fill the yard to get our Decompose online. So feeling pretty good about this draft. To round up pack 3, we're a little low on blues, so we would like some blues. We're kind of at about 7 blues we'd like to play. This is probably sideboard if we can swing it that way. In specific, we want blue 3-blocks, maybe a few Rune Chant Makers, and maybe a premium Decomposer as well are cards that I would be looking for. This current funnel, which I do think is really good, but I don't think it is hate draft worthy. Sigil of Sanctuary is okay anti Arcane, but I don't think that's really what we're looking for. I just want to pick up the chess piece. We passed 2 of these. We're not likely to see anything else. And honestly, I don't think we're giving up too much. I think if there was like a Cadaverous Tilling or something really premium here, we would be taking that, but we're fairly likely to wheel like blue Findles, one of these Earth cards. something like that. Notably, no blue Runeblade cards, so we may need to move those up in our pick order just to make sure that we get them. And wow, a Felling of the Crown. Okay. And a Cadaverous Stilling. I do think the Felling of the Crown is better. Shocker. But yeah, we are in the right lane and pretty rewarded with this Felling. I'm thrilled to see that. Another red Fruits of the Forest. This card feels a little bit like maybe underdrafted in this pod. I do like Four Finger Gloves as well, but I think red Fruits is premium enough that we should be taking it, and honestly this deck is kind of insane. Getting back the Sigil of Deadwood would be nice. We can get Bodice, or oh, there's a Plow Under. Holy. What a draft deck. What is going on here? Is everybody just afraid of drafting Earth? I don't know if we have the rune chant makers, weirdly. Like, we have a Dirge, but not a lot to sacrifice to it. We do have like the Sigil of Deadwood and the Dirge and the Incantation as rune chant makers. So we do want more rune chant makers, but yeah, I think Plow Under is a little bit too good to be passing. But that's kind of what we're on the lookout for. Yellow Rootbound to get another Decomposer. Don't mind if I do. Although maybe we should be looking at getting blues here. 10 cards left in the pack. This Deadwood Dirge is just so junky though. I think we'll take our last Decomposer and then really prioritize blue 3 blocks here. Summer's Fall is nice, and it is more decomposed, but I think we're at 5 already now with blue Rootbound, yellow Carapace, so 2 Carapace, Plow Under, 2 Blossoming Decay and Felling Card. We have 6 Decomposers. I don't think we need more. We just really want 3 blocks. And ooh, this Arcane Cussing is actually very tempting. Oh, sorry, we didn't take the Bodice. I was thinking that we had the Bodice. If we have the Bodice and the Deadwood Dirge, I would like this yellow Arcane Cussing a fair bit, especially with all our decompos. But without it, I think we just want the 3 blocks. And I'm going to actually separate out. How many 3 blocks do we have? This is kind of a 3 block. So not a ton of blue 3 blocks. Not much here. I'll take Arcane Cussing. I think it's a little bit higher upside than the Sigil of Findle, especially because we already have one if we need it. So we do have some junky blues that we need if we need them. So we're up to like 10, maybe 11 blues. So we don't need to over prioritize blues here, but yeah, we have most of what we need already. Blossoming Decay. I almost wonder if we need more 3 blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 blocks. Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit low on 3 blocks. Maybe I don't actually even need this Blossoming Decay, as crazy as that is to say. Let's take the yellow Hocus Pocus. Just something we can block with, something we can pitch. It is not bad. Coming back to the wheel. Yeah, we said no blues would come back. I don't think we have this rune chant support for high notes. Maybe we just take the Fertile Ground as more life gain for wizards. Don't know that this yellow earth form is making our deck a whole lot better at the moment, so yeah, let's just get more life gain. Blue Meet and Greet, or sorry, yellow Meet and Greet. Okay, we can just increase our 3 block count. Sigil of Deadwood, we were hoping to wheel this, so kind of nice to get that. Sure. Blue Sigil of Findle. I don't think these cards matter. Wow, that's still there. I think if anybody needed it, they would take it, so I'll cut the flash. And holy, Earth is really open. So I'm almost like mono Earth Florian here, as wild as that is to say. Might I even have to play the Sigil of Findle? Weirdly, like I'm somehow in an open lane, but also cut at the same time. This might be too many 2 blocks. I might just need the yellow 3 block in there, or maybe the Fertile Ground. Anyways, let's get this into Fabrary and see, maybe get a better look at this deck. I'm pretty excited. I think we have some pretty powerful cards. And yeah, so let's get the cards that we just simply cannot play out. It's like the Save the Thought. Flash is going to be cut for sure. Flittering Charge is unplayable. So that's currently 12 blues. And honestly, I'm pretty okay sideboarding here between these. So I think we're gonna like kind of smash the wizard decks and then be maybe a little bit soft to something like a good Aurora deck. How many 3 blocks do we have? I'm curious. Defense 1.97. Yeah, that's a little bit rough. 6 decompose and do we really have 3 blocks? There's no way we have 3 blocks, right? No, there's more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the root bound, 8, 9. I'm willing to count Vindals. That's 10. Okay. I think this deck's pretty great. Let's also get rid of... Let's just get rid of the weapons we can't play. We really don't need those. Let's cut from the deck as well. So, yeah, our 3 pieces of equipment, Rotwood Reaper, and 32 cards, sideboarding out 2 of these, depending on the matchup we're playing against. Yeah, so overall, yeah, really nice. We wouldn't have minded a few more 3 blocks, a few more Rune Chant Makers, but hey, can't complain. We have a Felling of the Crown and a Plow Under and a million life gain should we need it. So, that's kind of fantastic. I'm going to go ahead get our pairing here. So I am against Fansora. And we'll go ahead and make Talish our game. This is going to be Rosetta Limited. Rosetta Limited private game. Put in our Florian draft deck, which is a pretty sick one, if I have to say so myself. And Fansora. So just pinging my opponent here. Looks like they joined pretty quick, and they are on Verdance, which we talked about having a lot of tools into. Into Verdance, I'm inclined to take out maybe the Arcane Cussing. I think we have enough targets for this Dirge with the 2 Sigil of Deadwood and an Incantation. We want to make sure we're saving those. And then, what is my last cut? I think that there might be a Mono Wizard player here, so I'm inclined to keep this. Maybe we just don't need this Yellow Earth form. Are we really cutting Yellow Earth form? I guess it depends if we think that they're Earth, but with how open Earth is, maybe they're not Earth, and we should just be playing towards Mono Wizard and going for the better attack rather than the better defense. All right, let's try that. They put us... They're going first, which also sort of indicates maybe Wizard to me. So yeah, we can just play our full life gain package. And I like counting our life gain. So what was the end count on our life gain? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus 8 is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, potentially 27 life gain out of this deck. It's just nice to know so that when we're playing through the game, we have an idea of how much life gain we've seen so far. Staff of Verdant Shoots, that's pretty predictable. Trailblazing Aether. I don't really care about this go again. If they want to go off of Arsenal, they can kind of be my guest. Okay, they are really heavy on Arcane here. I'm going to cash in Bruised Leather while I can, because Verdance isn't always good at making use of go again. And I think because I have the life gain here, I'm pretty happy to just fire this off. This Plow Under's a little bit too early, so let's actually just second cycle it if we get there. But I think because Yeah, I think basically because we have some life gain to offset it, I'd rather just keep the Sanctuary. That's a little more valuable, and we're trying to kind of fill our yard very, very quickly if we are at all able to. We'd like to arsenal this Blossoming Decay, and it would be nice to fire off this Fertile Ground, but we're a little bit short on pitch, which is unfortunate. I think we're just going to send the Autumn's Touch and hope that we can get back around to this Fertile Ground. So we're going to have a pretty strong second cycle with Plow under and some life gain. So we just need to make sure that we get there and really conserve our life total whenever we're given the chance. But this does feel like Mono Wizard Verdance, so yeah, stay high on life is the game plan. Get cards into discard, and 2 Earth cards already in discard with a Decomposer ready to go is not bad. And that is the nice thing about these mono wizard decks. They do get to make very good use of embodiments, just kind of cashing in everything. Sure. I'd like to see cards going out. One of the ways that we win this is through fatigue. Their cards are doing kind of like 3 or 4 damage per card. Our cards are doing like, 7s and 6s, or even the life gain can sometimes be 4s if we get back around to it. So card by card, we outvalue them. Like if you flip over and count up like the total offense that they're going to be doing and the total offense that we're going to be doing, we come out ahead, and that's really notable. Okay, so we have 2 Earth cards already, and we are able to potentially decompose, but we don't have the 3rd card in. So we have a couple options. We can discard this Fruits right away, and then decompose 3, putting in a Rootbound Carapace, but we're going to be 1 short if we do that to get our Blossoming Decay online. So I don't know if I'm like super in love with this plan. Interesting that they are going for Decompose here, so they probably are like a bit of a hybrid where they have some arcane damage and our fatigue math is going to matter as well. This is also 1, 2, 3, 4 Decomposers with a Plow under, so there is some consideration that we may wait quite a long time to get Florian online. I think that's kind of okay though, honestly. So what I'm thinking here is just blocking 5, 1 with Helm, and covering 6, taking 1, so mostly preserving our life total, and then just throwing this Fruits of the Forest as some good deck damage. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't think I want to discard this Fruits. I guess if we just want to get online as fast as possible, we could, but arsenaling this Rootbound Carapace is scary. I guess we can decompose with the Rootbound Carapace. I guess we can get online this turn. Be a little behind on deck damage. I think because we don't have that many rune chant makers, I'm more concerned about deck damage than I am about getting online. So I'm going to make the executive decision. Our Fertile Ground is 2nd cycle anyways, so our incentives for getting online are a little bit lower. And we can just go ahead and swing 7. I think that's fine. Right now we are slightly behind, notably. They have more cards in deck, and they are ahead on life. So we're at 24, I guess we're at 25 cards, they're at 23 cards. So we're actually one card ahead in terms of fatigue, my mistake. I popped the bubble. We're not really able to interact with this. Sure, I'll just take 3. Not too concerned about that. And while this Deadwood Dirge is good, I think we're gonna go ahead and leave this for 2nd cycle and just try and start getting online. So I think we're gonna go ahead, play a Blossoming Decay, decompose, discarding of fruits and arsenaling of fruits. Choose a decompose. Yes. Lignum vitae, root bound, and hocus pocus, I suppose. Our graveyard's pretty stocked, so I don't think we're overly worried about that, but yeah. And then we're gonna go ahead and gain some life here. Buffer that life total. I think we have enough life gain in our deck that we can afford to throw a few of these 3-for-7s and be okay. The Sigil of Deadwood is good for our Deadwood Dirge. We know that Deadwood Dirge is 5 hands from now, right? Like 16 cards, and then the bottom 2 is Deadwood Dirge and a blue. So we want to pitch this Sigil this turn if we at all can, and do that. Blue Arcane Twining. Yeah, I don't think we care about this at all. We're happy to take that. Go ahead, play out an Arcane Polarity, be pretty happy with our lives. So we're definitely pitching to Fruits of the Forest. I think that we are decently ahead on... We're doing okay in terms of the deck damage race, and as long as we keep sending big attacks, that's good. The real question here is, do we want to play out our Incantation or our Sigil of Findle? And I think that the answer is no. I think because Florian's not online, we can get more out of this incantation on a following turn. But maybe we just want to cycle it. Let's see, we're at 21, 22 cards to their 20. Yeah, we're not really worried about deck damage, so maybe we are just supposed to simply play out the Sigil of Findle, make sure that we don't die to Arcane, because that seems to be the plan that they're committing to. Every time that they throw a spell instead of an attack, we're getting ahead on deck damage, because they're trading 1 card for like 2 to 3 damage. We're trading 1 card for like 7 damage. So we're just dealing more efficient damage per card than they are, and we're pretty happy with that. Even when they get this 4 block. So yeah, very, very nice block from them. That's fine. We don't actually need to kill them. All we need to do is win by fatigue. And we get to arsenal this Malefic for once it is more relevant. Yep. Coming in with a blue Fruits of the Forest, playing towards that fatigue plan. We can just block with strong yield and be pretty happy with ourselves. I think, again, we want to save this incantation for second cycle, and Sigil of Deadwood second cycle is also great. So yeah, we'll just do this, maintain life totals where they are, swing the Blossoming Decay, and stick to our plan of just value. We're going to gain a life up to 16, and we're going to play this Blossoming Decay, decomposing and getting Florian online. It is a little bit more deck efficient to play the Sigil of Deadwood, swing the Rotwood Reaper, but because Florian's not online, I think I would rather do this, and we're okay just second cycling the Sigil of Deadwood. And that will be the last card. So we have Sigil, Dirge, and a blue. I think it's a blue block 3 even, which is kind of nice. Okay, so they're coming in for 7, and Verdant should be online. Yeah, they have more than enough Earth cards. We definitely want to block with this 3 block. We're probably pitching this Arcane Polarity to second cycle, and maybe we just play... It's pretty interesting. So we can do 5 block and swing 5 using 3 cards, or we can play a Sigil of Findle, block with our Fruits of the Forest, swing 4, and we've still blocked 5. We do 1 less damage, but we're going to gain a life from our Sigil of Findle, which I think is maybe better, or we could Incantation to start pressuring as well. Honestly, I think that we're just winning this game through fatigue, so I'm actually just going to play out the Incantation, swing Rotwood Reaper, because Rotwood Reaper is very good math. They're gaining some life, sure. So you can kind of see the game swing back and forth between deck damage and life totals. We're both on 15 cards. Life totals are very close. So deck damage is a pretty real consideration here. But yeah, I'm pretty happy to just do this Arsenal, this Polarity. I think they will do Arcane again, especially with Verdance Online, and we can go ahead and gain some life when they do. Did they gain life last turn? And we took an Arcane and I just missed it? It's a little bit awkward. Yeah, I definitely should have played this last turn, but it is what it is. This felling is fantastic, and let's see what they do. Overflow the Aether Well, perhaps threatening something like a Fertile Ground. I don't think we particularly care, especially because we can convert the vast majority of our hand here. Yeah, we will just simply take that. See if they can use the 2 resources for something like a Save the Thought. No, Fertile Ground, we called it. Pretty happy to gain life here. And now there's some question of, do we care about the deck damage from Felling of the Crown more? Sorry, we're always playing Felling of the Crown. Do we care about gaining life, or do we care about the deck damage of swinging 6? So they're at 13 cards and they're ahead 5 life. We're at 13 cards. So we are a little behind in fatigue, interestingly. I think we just want to arsenal this Fruits, knowing that we have some okay life gain coming up with a second cycle Fertile. Yeah. Yes, we would like to decompose. 1, 2, 3. Bottom that meet and greet, that's no problem. And yeah, I think basically just rather than converting the card for 2, we're going to convert it for 6. And we're banking on having enough life total here to be able to do that. They also bottom a card, so we should get some good tempo, and I'm curious to see what they do here. We always have the option to discard this as well if they really keep a hand and we're really afraid, but I think with Well-Grounded and Fertile Ground coming up, I believe in the next hand we're okay where we are. Yeah, their next hand should be Fertile Ground, and then our hand with Plowender, right? And then our turn after that is the Dirge with the incantations. Coming in for 7. Yeah, using that life gain, they have pitched a blue and they're kind of getting max value out of this Findles, which is very, very nice. We can go ahead and play to arsenal this Plowunder and just play out the Fruits. So let's see. They're presenting 9. Trying to think about if I want to Well-Grounded here to stop the Verdance, the Staff of Verdant Shoots ping here. Yeah, we are getting down on cards here. It's a little surprising. I thought we were going to be way ahead. Let's go ahead and Well-Grounded. Eat up that 2 Arcane from the Verdance ping. And we can simply take this down to 4 because we're going to be gaining a bunch of life back with Fertile Ground, and we're going to arsenal this Plowunder. And this Fruits here should be decent pressure. So I think we're really looking for a spot where we can get value out of this Plowunder. But yeah, this is decent pressure, presenting 8 while they're at 9. They do have to do some blocking, and they don't have their embodiment, which is good for us. I think we have spent a lot of our life gain though, so worth noting. Going down to 1, fascinating. Okay. think we pitched a blue last turn, so we want to put the earth form first to make, oops, we don't want to skip that, because we want to draw this hand, which is a lot of pressure if we're allowed to keep it. We get to Sigil, Deadwood, Dirge, and then Strength of Four Seasons. We'll see what they've got. Fertile Ground, I don't mind taking 2 here, that's fine, and then maybe like the nothing. Wow. Okay. So we are 10 to 10. We can play this very, very slow by playing out sigils and getting multiple Rotwood Reaper swings, but I think that the tempo is actually just worth so much here, even though we're both on 11 cards. I think that just being able to send 6 Arcane and 6 and then tuck their arsenal is like a little bit too good to pass up on. And maybe we can keep this sigil for next turn. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What are we doing with this Sigil of Deadwood and this Strength of Four Seasons? So, cancel. So we're definitely playing out a Sigil of Deadwood. We're definitely playing out a Deadwood Dirge and getting the 6 rune chance. And I think we just want to Arsenal. I suppose we pitch so we have an earth form coming up in our next hand, so I guess we can second cycle or third cycle the Strength of Four Seasons and just go for max pressure, arsenal the Sigil of Deadwood here. That's pretty reasonable. I think we do want to arsenal it to make sure we draw into our earth form, and then we know we have at least a 6 to swing. But typically in these endgames, if you can force them, because they're at 4 and it's 6 arcane, even though this is likely not lethal, like they might be able to, like Fertile Ground, they might be able to use Sanctuary as well. By lowering their ability to play efficiently, like we make them pitch a blue to just like survive the arcane damage here. We're going to be taking basically everything from them because we're decomposing, taking their arsenal as well. So they're doing everything they can just to not die, which means that we should pull ahead in deck damage as long as we keep presenting threats. So this tempo is really huge, and you can kind of see the power of that. They do get a very nice block here though, and somehow still roughly even on cards, but I don't know if that matters for them just because we have such an obscene amount of tempo. So we are really coming down to it. It's a very interesting question of I don't know if we're quite at the Sigil of Deadwood endgame yet. I think we can actually just keep swinging here, keep the 3 blocks in hand, second cycle, third cycle the fruits, and be okay. Should have been watching their pitch a little closer. I don't believe that I saw exploding aethers in there though. You know what? I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to play this a little bit safer and keep the fruits in the hand and keep the meet and greet as a block 3. Do they just not block? Oh, they have another Fertile Ground. Sure, these Fertile Grounds are very deck efficient, but they're dropping very, very low. And we do get those embodiments, which, we cannot use. They have a Pop the Bubble coming in for 3. And they're down to 6 cards. We are also down to 6 cards. I think we just want to keep taking cards from their hand. Honestly, the Sigil of Deadwood's pretty nice because it rips 2 cards every single time. think we are supposed to Sanctuary here. I don't believe they have any reds. They pitched a bunch of yellows, so I think that we're okay. And we're going to put this fruits on top so that we draw it next turn, just in case there's some kind of burst of arcane. But I think it's getting pretty hard for them at this point. So we're just going to stop everything there, be pretty happy about that. Tuck our fruits first, and play out this Sigil of Deadwood. Let me see here. So we're playing out Rotwood Reaper, likely taking 2 cards. I think we want the option to keep this Strength of 4 Seasons just to swing a lot of damage. So we might be arsenaling this potentially. I think we pretty much got this game locked up with the Fruit's life gain and just, yeah, the pressure taking their hand. It's arguable that I'm supposed to be sending 6 here, but I think that the 4 and then the 2 arcane on the following turn is just good enough. And if they give me most of the hand, I'm just going to arsenal this and know that we can swing 8 on the following turn and just basically rip more cards again. Because again, the tempo in these endgames it helps you fatigue. What's interesting here is that if they Sanctuary as well, like, they're potentially just dead to the Rune Chance, so I don't know. I'm not sure that this does what they want it to do. They need to give me even an additional card from here. So even though they're at 5 cards and I'm at 4, I think I'm just too far ahead here. Coming in for 4, they do cover everything. They can try and zap me, but frankly, I don't think I care. I can actually get this meet and greet on my next turn with the Sigil of Deadwood, so I think I'm pretty inclined to do that and arsenal the Strength of 4 Seasons, and they have Sigil, Summer's Fall, Autumn's Touch, so I think they're just about out of damage in their deck. At least arcane damage. So if I can hit them, take all their cards, we're pretty winning. I also think that they're just dead to this arcane. They're gonna gain life? Sure. Ping me for 1. Yep, that's no problem. Sigil of Deadwood is going to pop. We're gonna go ahead and swing a meet and greet, which is gonna get go again. No way to prevent this. And this is gonna rip their hand pretty much completely apart. And I think the play here is to send 6 because that demands 2 cards or maybe all 3 cards, and they can't possibly present lethal. So undo. Play this out. Yeah, they're talking about the double M draft. Yeah, just too much tempo here. Oh, this is even for 7. Why is this for 7? Oh, because it's a 7 power, and in my head this was a 6 power. Yeah, so even if they can block this, it just takes their whole hand. Yeah, so they can block this, right? But it takes their whole hand. They're on 1 card. They're at 1, and then we can simply swing 5 for lethal, or just swing Rotwood Reaper, and they're out of cards. So yeah, good showcase of that kind of tempo being really important, and that second cycle Plow Under actually really just kind of being the hammer that we needed to close out the game. All right, let us take a look. See if we can get our next game going. How is there a 2-0 match going on? I can join Bart's game. Recognize this name for sure. Join. Believe this might actually be a patron. I know that they have been before for sure. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I've just seen them in Runaways Discords a whole bunch. Or Runaways queues a whole bunch. Oh, this is this is a patron, so if you do watch this, howdy. Hope this is a good game. So Florian Mir, this is going to be less about arcane damage and more about maximizing deck damage. That being said, Fertile Grounds are really good. They are essentially block 4s provided that you can play them out without getting run over. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blues. We can maybe cut 1 arcane polarity. I don't like having too many no blocks. And we're looking for a last cut. I'm not actually sure what it is. I think we do really want these 3 blocks when we can get them. Maybe it's simply strong yield. We have a lot of auras with the Sigil of Deadwoods. Yeah, let's get the strong yield out of there. I think we just ended up blocking with it last time. They're going first. Likely trying to get some good deck damage in here. We do have our Felling of the Crown, which is a little bit early for it. Debating second cycling it or just waiting. Let's see what our opponent here does. Playing out 2 sigils, so losing a lot of cards from deck, but then making up some of it for sure here. Pretty interesting stuff. I think we don't want to give 2 cards to this. I think we're kind of okay just leaking 1, because again, from them choosing to go first and playing Rotwood Reaper out, this feels like a game about deck damage, and so we really want to maximize our threats, and we want to play our 3 for 7s and our 5 powers when we can. We also don't want to waste block value. So let's go ahead and do this, see what we get in our arsenal. We could pitch this Felling for second cycle and set something up that's very nice, but we could also just arsenal it, so it depends what we draw. That Hocus Pocus I don't really particularly want, and we do want Earth Fill, so I'm just gonna go ahead and over pitch it. Having 3 blocks in your second cycle is nice sometimes, so let's go ahead and do that. Just a modest 7. And we really want to get max value out of this Felling. We have so many decomposers. So I might be less willing to like wait on this if we had like 2 decomposers in our deck, because we have so many. The only really bad one is like Plow Under, but it's also a yellow and plays most of our other decomposers. Like it plays all of our blossomings, so yeah. 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Okay, so this is a lot of tempo and a lot of deck value, right? 1 card blocking effectively 7. We'll see what they can do with this tempo. I'm gonna put this first just to make sure we have a 3 block there, and then here's what we're talking about. Being able to play out our decomposers is pretty nice. Ideally, we're keeping both of these big attacks in our deck if we can, but I don't know if we can. Okay, coming in with an Autumn's Touch. Okay, so we need an Earth card in order to be able to Blossoming Decay. And I think we'd rather a 2-cost Earth card than a 3-cost Earth card, even though the fruits is red. So I think that we're pretty okay just blocking like this. Then we can swing back Blossoming Decay, Decompose, and our count is at 1 Earth at that point, and we can maybe look at doing these in the future. Okay. Yeah, we already have our Decomposers online, so that is pretty nice. If we really wanted to decompose as fast as possible, we could get the strengths in the yard, and if it was a wizard, we might do that, but we're really looking for deck value this game. Right, as much deck damage as possible, and that means playing your 7 powers when and where you can. So we're doing exactly that by second cycling it. And I didn't want to go too low. I could save this Roots of the Forest, but the 2 big attacks in the same hand, we can't even play them all. We have a lot of big attacks in the deck, and I think just getting our Decompose online is pretty important because it means that we can Felling soon. Don't want to fall so far behind that we lose tempo. And we sort of know that this turn isn't going to be like overly threatening. They probably have another big attack lined up, so it would have been nice to throw like a 7 or something here, I suppose, but it's fine. This is very much a marathon, not a race, so to speak. Let's see here. We're going to take a Rune Chant. Don't think we're very incentivized to stop it. And this is for 7. The on hit doesn't matter since Florian's not online. So we need a card in our discard. So we probably need to get rid of this Roots of the Forest at the very least. We'd take 5, swing Felling. I wonder how much I like that. Alternatively, we can Fertile Ground Felling, but then we don't get to do this. So I suppose we could just block with Lignum Vitae here and Bruised Leather, and then play out our Felling, bottoming this Fruits, and then pitching and playing out our Fertile Ground. Kind of like that. Just trying to preserve our threats in deck where we can. So, yeah. We need our Lignum Vitae, we need our Bruised Leather used. Oops, we're not blocking with our Bruised Leather, we're cracking it. And we're going to take 5. That's okay. We're fine going down to 11. We're going to get back a ton of tempo here, and our deck is still pretty healthy. So let's go ahead and do this. We will decompose. We'll pass. No need to give them the information. We also need Florian online before we use the Fertile Ground. And we'll bottom this Fruits so that we have the pitch. And then our second cycle hand will be Fruits, Sigil, Fertile Ground. So maybe you send a big attack, play a Fertile Ground. So ideally pitching something that can play this, but that seems pretty easy to do since we have a threat in our next hand. They're just going to take this. Going to block 3. And we'll just play this Fertile Ground, get full value here, and keep that Fruits in deck because we talked about it being a pretty good threat. And all of a sudden, we are basically at life parity and relatively close on fatigue. They have more equipment. We have 1 more card. They are about to attack us, though. It's pretty close. Yeah, coming in with the Rotwood Reaper. That is fine for us. We're pretty happy to go ahead and block with this Meet and Greet, I think. Or we could just play out our Fertile Ground, honestly, as well. So what is our turn? We're playing out a Sigil of Deadwood, and we are swinging the Rotwood Reaper. Honestly, I think we're okay just blocking with this meet and greet. That's kind of what this card is mostly going to be doing for us anyways, and since Florian's online, we're getting full value out of our sigil. We do want to save one sigil for our Deadwood Dirge, but that can wait. Yeah. I like saving this because the Fertile Ground in Arsenal means that next turn we might just be able to swing Rotwood Reaper again, maximize the value out of that card, and then also play a Fertile Ground. So we just want to be like playing as many of our cards as we can, and that's why the Fertile Grounds are good. They're 4-point cards rather than a 3-block, which is a 3-point card. As long as the game is slow enough, we're pretty happy. So a very close game. Hard to say who is ahead here, honestly. They're probably a little ahead. Certainly on board, they're a little ahead. Our second cycle is fine, but not exciting. But we're online and they're not. Wonder if their deck gets online. It's interesting. They haven't decomposed yet. And we still have lots of fuel for decompose, so it's pretty good. Where are we? So we swing Rotwood Reaper. Opting to no block. Okay. Wonder what they have planned here. So this hand mostly just wants to play Earth Form and maybe block with some cards. They have a vantage point. They're going to get the overpower. Sure. I think we can maybe try to set this up with some arcane damage in the endgame. So let's go ahead and block with this Consuming Volition, which is always a 3-block, whereas this was a 3-block later. And here's where the Fertile Ground's pretty nice. We get to block 3, but still use all of our cards. If we didn't have one, we'd have to Arsenal. I guess we could Arsenal the Sigil of Findle, and that wouldn't be a huge disaster. But I also still don't know if it's great. Interestingly, we could send this Arcanic Spike as well. Wonder if we ever send this Arcanic Spike. So if we send Arcanic Spike, it incentivizes them to Sanctuary and use that and then potentially get a lot of value. I think if they weren't on Arsenal, I would like it more because it becomes hard for them to like do everything efficiently. But because they are on Arsenal, I think I'm going to go ahead and pitch this. Sorry, we were talking about maximizing deck damage this whole time, and I just realized that we have a free Rotwood Reaper here. So let's go ahead and do that instead. We're just going to swing Rotwood Reaper for 4 and 2. Because this is 0 cards out of deck to do 4 rather than a card out of deck to do 6. So this is like a 2-point card if we're playing it this way. So we can instead just play Fertile Ground, Arsenal, Earth Form, and that's pretty happy for us. Yep. Take 1. Sure, cash it in while they can. That makes a lot of sense. We're going to go ahead and play this Fertile Ground. Gain 4. Reclaim the life lead, at least for now, but if you are gathering anything here, or as you've probably gathered here, life is only half of the story, deck damage is the other half. And hopefully we're going to find a good way to make use of all of that. So yeah, again, you see them pitching yellow and red, some pretty good threats second cycle. They do have an Arcanic Spike second cycle, so saving some prevention for that is ideal. Yeah, a little bit awkward here. So we've taken 1 Arcane. We can cash in this Arcane Polarity now. And this Deadwood Dirge is a little bit stuck, isn't it? So we stop 2 of this, we're going to 8. I think we're trying to arsenal this dirge to play towards it with a sigil of Deadwood, which should be coming up at some point here. Or we can second cycle it, but it's going to end up in our 4th hand and won't be stacked with the other card. I think we're doing this for sure, because we can get the 2 life gain in for full value. And yeah, maybe we just take this and go to 8. Oof. I wonder if we're getting too low here. I'm not that comfortable being at 8, so I wonder if we're supposed to discard this fruits actually and arsenal this dirge. It's tough because it is a 7 power, but we have quite a few of those, so yeah, maybe I think we're gonna do that. Or at least see how they block. If they're keeping a full hand, we're definitely discarding this fruits. I'm just worried about getting too low. How much life gain do we have? We played 1 fertile ground, both fertile grounds. Yeah, we're getting a little bit low on life gain. I think I just want to cash this in and not fall too far behind. We're still, yeah, we're a little behind on fatigue. 15 to 16 cards, but they have 5 more life, and no, I don't want to skip arsenal. High notes for 4. That's pretty good for us, actually. High notes for 4 is pretty good for us. Debating playing this incantation out. Maybe just getting... I think we can go ahead and block with this rebound. Choose to decompose, yes. Decompose, decompose, decompose. And then I'm not sure what the play is here. I'm a little bit conflicted. The main candidates are to play out this Vindles now, get the value while you can. Incantation, swing Rotwood Reaper, and really try and stretch our deck's efficiency, or something else. So what are they at? They're at 14 cards and they're up 6 life. We're at 15 cards and we're down a significant amount of life total, which is really rough. I'm not quite sure how to claw this back. Yeah, let's try and just extract every bit of value we can and hope that our threats are a little more consistent than theirs. I think we do still have Sigil of Findle as like double Rotwood Reaper swings later, so maybe we can get there, I don't know. I think the risk of like Rune Chant in games is low though, so I think we just want to stay in the game, keep swinging. Findles being a 3 block in this spot is really nice, even if they take 4. We're getting the full Findles value here, and when they start blocking 2, that is good for us. We want them to use their 2 blocks as 2 blocks. Yep, so IP1ing a card here. Sigil of Deadwood, sure. Coming in with the Hocus Pocus, coming in with the Rotwood Reaper for 4. Kind of doing a similar thing to us, right? Here we don't really have a great way to make use of our Deadwood Dirge, and I think what we're going to do is trigger our incantation on our turn and then go from there. So yeah, we can go ahead and do this. Play our Findles on offense as a 6-point card and IP this Plowender, and I think we're pretty much guaranteed to see the Sigil of Deadwood. Maybe the very bottom card of the deck we haven't seen. I haven't been fully tracking our pitch deck, but we are getting pretty close on it. And this coming in for 5 is a bit of a crusher. We have 11, 12 cards in deck. They're down to 11, so we are clawing back the lead a little bit in terms of deck damage. Potentially threatening a pretty big turn next turn if we can Rotwood Reaper or something similar. Ah, we didn't hit it. Am I crazy? Have we played both Sigils? No. So it must be one of the very last cards in our deck. Okay. Fair enough. Rotwood Reaper coming in for 4. So yep. Again, doing that deck damage. This is really fascinating because this Plowender is such a premium card, but I actually think I might just block with it. It only attacks for 6, and these are all 6s and 7s in our deck. So, like, honestly, I think we just want to get our 3 blocks where we can and play our other cards where we can. It's kind of wild, but I do actually think it's correct. Count your blessings. Sure, that's only a 2-point card, so I'm not overly worried about it. And although we're up one card, but down a fair bit of life. Kind of inclined to just play this Dirge here because I think at this point we're just hoping to use the Sigil of Deadwood as 2 Rotwood Reaper swings in the very super ultra endgame. So let's go ahead and crack our Dirge, actually. Getting rid of this, playing a Strength of 4 Seasons, keeping the fruits in our deck, and arsenaling the 7 power. Just trying to squeeze these cards as much as we can. Cashing in Bruised Leather here makes a ton of sense. They might not get another chance. I guess there is the Sigil of Deadwood if they're tracking it, but yeah. I think that their second cycle, it has some big attacks, but I don't think it has anything like super explosive. It's basically just like deck dammies and math. Yeah, here's an Arcane Polarity, which is nice. They get the full 3 value, get the full 2 value out of that one. And one thing that's becoming apparent is that even though it looked like they were ahead on life with the equipment, their Well Grounded has no way to get turned on because, well, they haven't decomposed, and I just don't think they have decomposers. We probably have most of the decomposers. And yeah, just coming in with Findles here makes a ton of sense. I think that we're not going to be getting the full retail value out of this. Let me think about this for a second, actually. Is this the hand that we use to Sanctuary is the question. We can Sanctuary a whole bunch here And then we'll come back to this hand, which is actually pretty good deck damage with all the sigils in deck, swinging the Rotwood Reaper for 4. These are like 5-point cards if we can play them out. And we can just swing our fruits. Honestly, I kind of like it. I think we have the tempo to do it. I go ahead, pitch, and stop 4 total, and then swing back 7. You can start to see the advantage we're accruing across the high-value cards in our deck. They're down to 7 cards with a 3 life total, but we're at 8 cards, 1's attacking, and this is for 7. So I think we are firmly ahead in terms of fatigue right now. We just need to not die. Hopefully I didn't miss some arcane damage that they have stacked or something crazy. If they did, kudos to them. That's on me. I should have been tracking. But we do have fruits, so... Oh yeah, we know about this oath. That's right. Oh, they do have a dirge. Okay, I missed the dirge. I should be tracking that dirge. And coming in with Arcanic Spike, and they are going to get the 7 out of this, so a little bit of a punish because I didn't manage my resources well enough here. So this is going to be the well-grounded turn for sure. I think I really wish that I could cover this with my Sanctuary, but I can't. So very nice play. And unfortunately, I'm actually stuck here a little bit, holding the bag on a whole bunch of 2 blocks, and they're coming in for 10. So they're getting that tempo that I was talking about being so important. And we're actually on the back foot now. So yeah, we just have to give the whole hand. There is no other choice. That is very nice by them, and I probably should have been counting that Oath and Arcanic Spike. I actually remember pointing out the Arcanic Spike. I think I missed that the Oath was pitched with it. So perhaps a little bit of a misstep from me. We're both on 4 cards here. And I do have... No, we don't have the life lead. I think that we lose this. I don't quite think we can get there. Because we're missing the swing here. See how important the tempo is? Yeah, I think we're gonna get... Yeah, I think that Bart is gonna take this. Come in for 4. So what does this mean? This means that they don't have any more... They don't have any more swings. Man, is there some way that we can get out of this? So they're at 1. They have 2 cards. We can block 2 cards, cover the 4, play a Sigil of Findle, but then we don't have enough life, and we're just gonna... Oh, but then we can cover with 2. So I think we actually want to play out the Sigil of Deadwood. Is that right? What did they pitch? I need to be paying attention to what they pitched. I think that's not something I would be missing in paper, but I am here. The Sanctuary is going to be really powerful here, though. Although it might be too late for it, interestingly. Yeah, so I block 4. Play the Sigil, swing, and then I'm out of cards. Yeah, this 4 is going to do it. This 4 is going to do it. Ah, we're just 1 point short. That's frustrating. So yeah, maybe had we actually just gone for the sigil. Yeah, I think there's a number of ways we could have played this and we could have gotten there, but I'm not seeing it from here. Arg. Yeah. Yep. Oof, very close stuff. Yeah, so perhaps squandering our sanctuary a little bit, we could have used it to stop 6 instead of 3, and I think that that was the difference in this game. Wild. Yeah, we'll do this to swing 4. And we're just 1 card short. Unless they don't have like... Unless they have like a no block. I don't think they have a no block in there though. Sanctuary plays here lose. Even if they can cover everything, I come on with 4 and 2 on the next turn and they're just dead. So Sanctuary plays are not good here. But we know they have to hit the high notes, and as long as they have a card that can pitch to Rotwood Reaper, we lose Exacxes. Crazy. Oh, I see they went back. Changing their box. It shouldn't matter here what they do, so long as they have a pitching card. Yeah, that's game. Crazy stuff. Okay, good game. Send message. Good game. We're able to trigger the rune chance, which would be lethal on board, but we have no way. We get the Sigil Deadwood trigger for the rune chance, but no way to close it out. Yeah, good stuff. GG's. Just typing to them a bit. I guess that can be an end for the stream. I don't think we're gonna get a 1-1 game. I can post it. I suppose we can post it. Doesn't hurt to post it. This deck's pretty sweet, but often the 1-1 games don't get there. Is this game still up? Can I join with my Florian draft deck? Will they let me? Oh, they're still waiting. Okay. Oh, but did I? No, I didn't play this person. Okay, we can get our last game. All right. I think we want to go first. Finally winning a die roll, and I expect this to go pretty well for us. So we do get our last game. That is a pleasant surprise, and I think we can take out this Arcane Cussing. Actually, we want the Strong Yield. We talked about this. It's a go again attack. Maybe want all the life gain. I think the Earth form is actually just what we took out, and I liked that a fair bit. Trying to get a read on what they are. A little hard to say. But regardless, I know we want to send this, and I think we just want to start cycling. So let's go ahead and arsenal that Arcane Polarity. Neither of these cards are very good. And I think we just want to hit them. Not too worried about another Earth Mirror after seeing my deck and the last deck that we just played against. I think that we're pretty solidly favored into just about any Earth hero, and I'm really afraid of, yes, Arcane. That's sort of the main thing that I think people can try and do against us. So coming in for 4, I don't really care about taking 4. Pretty happy to play this Polarity, gain 2, and we don't actually have a way to enable Decompose, so we're probably arsenaling this, and yeah. Looks like mono wizard. We've seen basically only wizard cards in an Earth Blue, so I think that all we really need to do is fill graveyard and life gain. Yeah, they tipped their exploding ether, kind of already deduced it regardless, but perhaps a little unfortunate for them. And I think the play here is just going to be swing Rotwood Reaper for 4, establish a strong yield. We're going to discard this for 2 because I don't think this game is going to be about deck damage. We may fatigue them, but it's more about not letting them kill us. So I think that just gaining the life when and where we can is really good, and turning on our Blossoming Decays is going to be important because, yeah, they want to do exactly this. Aether Quickening, huh? We do get a pretty clean Sanctuary if we want it, and I kind of think that we do. We can Sanctuary for 3 and deny this, and then play our Blossoming, and even if they have a discard amp, we can Sanctuary again. The other option is that we just pitch 8 and then Blossoming, play our Blossoming here, and just hope that we draw into a Decompose, which we're pretty likely to do. We still have Felling and Plow under. Yeah, honestly, I think stranding them for a card here is pretty nice, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Sanctuary, Aether Quickening. We'll get the Sigil of Deadwood in there in our stack. And do we want to stop one more, or do we want to keep one more Blossoming Decay behind? I think we're fine. I think we have enough life gain. We just want to Decompose, turn on our Fertile Grounds. I think that that is the play. Sigil, go there. Strong Yield's going to trigger. We get to play this Blossoming Decay, and then we're just like one... No, we need 2 more Earth cards to really get there. But that's okay. It's exactly 3 cards to Decompose. And when you're playing these mono wizard decks, the swing 6, gain life every turn is like exactly what you don't want to be playing against. So yeah, feeling pretty good about our spot. Notice just how far ahead we're getting in terms of deck dammies. Already had several cards, and we have the fruits, which will let us do some graveyard fill, but that's actually it for graveyard fill, so... Amping. Okay, so they do have an Aether Bloom loop, which maybe I should have been saving my Sanctuary for now that I think about it a little bit more. But here we are. We do still have Well Grounded for that Aether Bloom, so we're going to have to remember that. And what this means is we need to pick up the pressure here. So I think to do that, we're going to go ahead, play the Sigil of Deadwood, and are we just going to, or is this Sigil of Findle, and are we just going to Rotwood Reaper for 4? It's sort of not exactly what I was thinking of in terms of pressure, but maybe that's just enough. Get into our Blossoming Decay, and yeah, I think we do need to be pressuring here. I think because we know we have this life gain, we're okay, and we're going to be able to Decompose next turn for sure, because this Sigil is going to pop. So I think we just want to hit them. Again, our ticket to victory here is decking them out. So it's less about like maximum card efficiency and more about just not getting stranded with cards. And here's where the Fertile Grounds are really, really clutch. We're gonna go ahead and Blossoming Decay. We have filled our yard thanks to the sigil that we played at, and we can play a Fertile Ground, Arsenal Fertile Ground, and be in a pretty happy spot. So notably, we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 life gain, 7 life gain so far. Actually, truthfully, forget the count of life gain that we had. I think it was 20 something though. So here's 11 life gain. We have more coming in. Get that attack back sooner rather than later. This Dirge is good pressure, but honestly, I think that we're just swinging here as hard as we can. Aether Quickening. I don't think we want to stop the go again because we want to stop that red Aether Bloom from looping. And honestly, I think we have enough life buffer that we are okay with things like this happening. So what's the play here? I think we're discarding Fruits of the Forest. We don't want to get burned out, so we want to use our life gain when we can rather than second cycling it, and then Felling of the Crown for a lot of pressure. So yeah, we're gonna use the ability. This is in our next. So Deadwood Dirge is going to be in our pitch stack next to Malefic Incantation, so it is online, and that Dirge is going to help us hopefully close the game. We are going to decompose everything, and yes, to decompose. Oh, I should have used Bruised Leather last turn. Whoops. Hopefully that... What's the problem? Decompose. Okay, I think I'm not selecting actions. Let's see. What does it ask me to do? 2 earth cards. I need to select the Fertile Ground and this, and then leave the action. Oops. Bit of a Talishar. Quirk, I suppose. Yeah, and this 8 is a lot of nice pressure, especially when we're sitting on a Fertile Ground. They're tempted to go low. But here is where we start to accrue our advantage. Yep, you can come in for 3. That is absolutely a-okay. You know what? I can actually just plow under and discard. Gain 4, keep the Fertile Ground behind. We don't need to decompose because, well, they don't have an arsenal anyways. And we're just so far ahead on deck damage that, again, all we need to do is not die. We're just making the task more and more insurmountable for them here. Pulsing Aether Life, it's a pretty good one. Thinking about if we need to care about this. Don't think so. Oh, we don't have our Sanctuary anyways, so it's not like we actually have much of a choice. Let's play out our Sigil of Deadwood. Play out cancel. Swing the Rotwood Reaper. And probably play out those Fertile Grounds. Again, saving Well Grounded for the Aether Bloom. I think it's in this hand. Maybe the next one. I think we're far enough that it's in this hand. And the spike's actually pretty good here with the dirge. So something we can do is we're gonna get rune chance here. We can meet and greet, which is probably gonna force a lot of tempo because of the sigil of Deadwood. And then our Deadwood dirge here is really, really nicely set up with Arcanic Spike. So it's actually pretty sweet for us. Yep. So we're kind of waiting to see what happens. Gain more life. Want to put that spike in with those cards, so we'll put that at the bottom first. And we're saving the Sigil of Deadwood if we at all can. Yep. Amping. Okay. Here's where we well grounded. Stuff the Aether Bloom. Regain the life that we've lost. And just apply a massive amount of pressure on them with this sigil coming in. They need to give us 2 cards to stop the rune chant, and then the meet and greet is also threatening a card here, which is pretty scary for them. And I think where we want to be. So we could present 4 or 5 instead, but I don't know how good that is. I think forcing the Sanctuary out's really good here, and then we have that Arcanic Spike Deadwood Dirge turn that's going to be pretty crushing in 2 hands from... oh, because we're IPing a card, we're actually 3 hands from now. Interesting, okay. Well, not much we could do about it. I don't think we have a reasonable way to clear that. I should have maybe played out this Sigil of Deadwood, just get max pressure, arsenal this Findles, and keep cycling through to the Arcanic Spike, because we know that that hand had an incantation with it. It was Dirge, Incantation, Spike, and then I believe a blue, so I think we probably should have played out this Sigil. I didn't realize I was going to throw off my pitch stack here. Whoops. Yeah, covering everything makes sense. Ooh, we're going to get the rune chance. That's nasty. Oh no, we're not. They covered one on the... Sure. They covered the 2 chants and then 1 on the... Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Ooh. They're looping. Huh. We're going to play out this Sigil of Deadwood. Hopefully this Bruised Leather on board, not using it like I mentioned, doesn't hurt us too bad. I think we just want to gain the life here. Ironically, maybe the Arcanic Spike on that turn and then second cycle the meet and greet would have been better. It's pretty interesting. It's possible they wouldn't have given us their Sanctuary though, so it's a little bit hard to say. How much life gain do we have? I'm not sure. Are they going to get there? I think we're okay. I think we have this game locked up, but it's close. And I think we have it locked up because our second cycle pressures them enough. We'll put the threat next because, well, that card's never going to do anything. Here's the hand we've been talking about. What do you have here in your stack? A blue Aether Bloom? Yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough for them. Sigil of Deadwood popping. We can present 6 chants and 7, and then get 2 more chants on the background, which is just kind of gonna kill them from the arcane on the following turn. And I think that the 7 rips most of their hand. Yeah, we just got a full send here. We need to end this game ASAP. Oh, and we get the one life. That one life might actually just be huge here from the Sigil of Findle. That's pretty crazy. I actually missed that interaction. So pretty nice stack here for us. Maybe missing the Arcanic Spike didn't matter. We had the Strength of 4 Seasons anyways. And then we have the Spike next turn for the Incantation. Maybe this is just better. This is just better than the turn that we thought we had. Yep. Taking one. Stopping two with their equipment makes a ton of sense. They're going to have to give me 2 cards, and then there's a question of can they present 6? I don't know if they can. And I think next turn I just have lethal. So I think they have Aether Bloom blue. So they would need like an exploding Aether here. If they have exploding Aether in their arsenal, they can win this game. And I think anything else, maybe a Trailblazing as well. Yeah, Perennial Aether Bloom. Not gonna do it here though. Coming in for 7 and 2, 6 and 2. Oof, close one. Good game. Wow. Their wizard deck was very close to killing us despite all the life that we gained. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I believe we gained 27 life this game and well grounded. That is crazy. I suppose I could also see it in the stats. Maybe? So I gained, yeah. Total life gain 25. Switch player stats. They did 43 damage this game. And we managed to live through it. Impressive stuff. Okay, there you go. That's going to wrap up our Rosetta draft. Hopefully it was a good learning experience. I was hoping to maybe draft an exciting Earth hero, a Lightning hero or something like that. I think Florian's one that a lot of people are familiar with at this point. But, you know, the draft is what it is. We read signals, we found our lane, and I think we were pretty rewarded. I think that this deck was very 3-0-able, had a very close game round 2, and I think ultimately had we played just a little bit tighter, had I, you know, just saved that Sanctuary, been slightly more disciplined with it, and used it on that turn with the Arcanic Spike and the Oath, which I should have seen stacked, I think would have gotten there, but instead we didn't do that, so is what it is. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope this helped you, and we will see you all in the future. Bye for now.